Hello and welcome to the next episode of Code Deep Dive. This episode is a bit different than the previous one. This time I decided to go with uncut version of my recording, or almost uncut. I imagine this is going to be something much different than the other recordings, and I'm also doing this for the first time, so you may expect a bit of me mumbling or some other background noises or me doing back and forth without making much sense. To be honest, I'm not even sure if I'm going to release it, but well, if you are here listening to this, then well, it means that it had happened. And in this episode, I'm going to show you real applications, actually the game. It's an open source game called OpenTTD. I used to play this game a lot when I was a kid, and well, okay, to be honest, I played the commercial version that was called Transport Tycoon at that time, but then it was released under some open source license and is developed by the community nowadays. The game is pretty cool, I think. You basically run the company that does various transport across the towns and the industries. So you have a map and you can, let's say, build some road construction like a bus stations. So I will just create one here and the other one here, and then you can just create the road depot and say, okay, so new vehicle, and probably the bus because it's the town. And then you just say, go from here to here, pick some passengers, give them a ride across the town. And here you go. So the bus is arriving to one bus station, going to the other, and then we will get back. And this is basically how we make money, and you just grow the cities and the industries. So I really recommend that you just try it sometime. Okay, so I can probably close that now. Yeah, so what I did before recording this, I just check out the code from the GitHub, and you can see, so there are various folders like some media, OS documentations, but we'll just focus now on the source one. And there are some nestings in this folder, and there are also some first level files, so quite a bit of that. So this is like a real app built by the CMake, I guess. Yeah, it's a CMake. So let's maybe just start by looking into what happens when this game is launched. What I will do first, I will just search for the main, and I actually already did that before this recording. So so if you have a project like this, yeah, so main could be quite a popular name actually. So and well, since I'm here on Linux, probably I would be interested in Unix main, though there are actually other files that which may be interesting here, like OpenTTD CPP. This, when I open that, it says main entry point to this lovely game. Yeah, so definitely this is something where we can look into. I can leave a breakpoint here, but also I see its reference here, so maybe we can also start from here, and let's see what happens. So I will now I will just try to debug it now. All right, so here we hit it, and apparently, yes, this is the entry point. And let's see what happens here. So this this application accepts some input arguments. And this with this like default run, there's only default one, which is probably the executable path. So I wouldn't expect that anything interesting happened here. So, but all right, definitely, yeah, this is like executable. So I just put in the params vector, and then we have something like a crash log. So crash log just sets some signals, and here's the handle crash, which sounds like a function, which it is here. So we say, okay, we probably want to just reference this function, this handler function here, and just bend it to some signals. So, okay, so it starts with some 6 set being prepared. Do I have a reference here? Yeah, but okay, so 6 set is like a Linux such structure, and we have that many of words here, and this is basically just a structure holding this array of 6 set size. Exactly, it's a number of words you can keep here. So size of unsigned now. Okay, so yeah, okay. So we have a signals to handle, which actually, okay, so this is defined as a constant expression. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 signals, and then for each of this signal, we just add it to the set, right? So we are interested in handling this 6, and then what happens here is I don't know really this one. Results just call on signal return. Okay. Yeah. Okay, let's see later what it may mean. Okay, so we also set some mask or this on the SID action, which is actually our signal 6 set, right? So we just say, okay, these three signals will be handled by the handler. And then we just say, okay, so so we iterate again for the signals, and then we say, okay, so we have this action that's registered under SA, right? Okay, we cannot deep dive here, but eventually the intuition is that we have the crash handler, and it will be just called for any of these signals, whatever they happen. So we can actually leave the breakpoint here. If any of this signal happen, we'll just see how what's happening inside. And for now, we can just leave the init. Then we have some random seed, and it's based on the current time, as we see. Here we have some random. Where is it defined actually? Okay, so it's randomizer. And randomizer is some kind of structure, okay, that allows just to set the seed and probably query for the next number. So it sounds like some kind of utility here. Yeah, we can see that it's actually the seed. The randomizer contains state, and the state is initialized with the seed, all right, which is the time base. That makes sense. And then there's also some interactive random, which is also some other type of randomizer. I don't know yet what is it for, but we'll probably see it down the line. All right, so, and here we have signal. We signal, okay, so this is the signal from the Linux. So I cannot really deep dive here, so we won't see the details, but let's maybe move then to the just the rest of the code. Okay, so when I did this, it entered the span. So why did it enter the span? Okay, so probably because this function accept the span. All right, that makes sense. So we had the vector here, and now we need to convert to span. I will be recording probably span episode at some point, so I will not deep dive into span. Okay, so what happens when the main enter point is called? So we have here the game session stats, which is statistics about the current session. Nice comment. Basically, we see there's a start type of time point, and unit ID of the save game. All right, interesting. And save game size of the last save game in type in bytes. All right. Anyway, for now, the start time is just set for now, and then save game size is actually optional. So we have like an empty optional here. Yeah. Okay. This is exactly what I think was happening here. So okay. So save game size, no contain value. That's fair. Okay, then we have some set of variables set up. I don't know. I have nothing. I have no idea actually what they do. So so initialization does not tell me anything. Let's just skip to this point. Create options. Okay, in our function, we have something like option data, and we just want to create a vector of that. And it seems that we just have some data types here, a plain option, an option will have value, an option with optional value. Okay, so, and then ID. Okay, so I imagine that this is that we can just have some options of different types. And then for some reasons, they are stored in some kind of string here. Okay, yeah. Okay, so these, what I imagine is that these are options that you can pass on the command line. We didn't do any of this, and we just want to create some nice list of structures. Yeah, and then here we have a pushback of this. Let's maybe initialize that, and let's see what's here. Okay, well, quite many of them. Let's pick some random one. Okay. Right. So ID, short name, long name. Not every option has a long name, so for now, I don't really know what it is exactly what each option mean, but maybe we'll learn later. Okay. So then we show that there is we have the arguments. Probably the arguments can somehow map to the options, but we have none, so I will expect nothing really happen here. Okay, so casting to spam. Yeah, and we have argument span, which is just a span over the string view. So nothing fancy here. Probably wouldn't impact much what will happen during initialization. All right, so this get up data, apparently can return the options somehow. What is it? Yeah, this can't. What is it? This can't. Next call to get up should start here. Okay. Yeah, I would expect it's empty because we didn't have really the options. But the interesting thing is how it was initialized. What I would expect, it was initialized somehow by the options that we didn't pass. So yeah, it's empty. So if arguments are empty, we return. Yeah, and they are empty, so nothing interesting here. Okay. Just a brief look over here. Okay, that's a big switch. So we can kind of see that some maybe low-level setting could be set up for like a music, sound, and so on. Yeah, nothing that I would like to set up right now without really knowing what the game is, how the game is structured and organized. But then, since the I also wasn't set, it's -1. I'd expect nothing really will happen here regarding. Okay. Right. Okay. So we have some determined paths. Okay. So we know that the first argument was the executable path. Acquire the base paths. Okay, they have nice comments. All right, so we can read that. Acquire base paths, fill all other paths, and make the save and scenario directories. Okay, so it probably just this function just try to figure out where we are. Depending on where the executable was launched from. Okay, so we have our executable path, and the home dir, I would expect this is the system home dir, is it? Yeah. Get environment variable. Okay, I didn't dive, but you know the idea. It's actually, is it present? Yeah, it's present, and it makes sense. So we have our home dir. XDG. I don't think I have XDG set up, but let's check. Okay, I have actually. What is that? All right. Yeah. So it was set up by some installation I had in the system. And the path is like this. Okay, let's move on. And then I think we have just various separators here, like the constant for path construction. So the idea is just to assemble the final path. So here we go. Okay, so share for OpenTTD, append path separator, yeah, at the end, and then there's global variable. Okay, so global variables, I think, quite popular in the games. We know that there's one user, usually only. Okay, so probably some kind of a dictionary of paths in the system. Okay, and then we have some, okay, so we have some enum that just, you know, keys for our dictionary of important paths, so like personal directory, shared directory, binary, and so on. Probably resources are also somewhere here. So we just append this one, the xdg file, the xdg path, and then we have again content download. So for downloading some additional content, which probably happens because this game allows you just to install extensions, and basically the extensions are like new bus models or new kind of trains and so on. So that I would imagine that you just need some directory which allows you to install such stuff. All right, so where we are now. So yeah, so we have our home dir, which probably now for which now we just add the personal directory, which is just OpenTTD in this case. I'm not sure why it's probably not this one, right? Because it's grayed out. So I'm not really sure what it is then, but yeah, okay, I can tell from the debugger it's OpenTTD. And then we also have a content download here. So this is not xdg related. It's just that in the home directory you can just use that just that path. Okay, and for some reason here, so the with shared directory is not defined. So the shared directory is not set up, as I understand. Okay. That would be interesting to actually just, you know, just see what it is. Okay, yeah, all right, it's pretty empty, but we have xdg stuff here and the local things here. All right, let's see what will happen later with that. Okay. This is like a current working directory, as I see. So the place I run it from, and this is yeah, not really nice to see, but we have seen that. I'm not sure it was here. No, it was not here. So our executable file was in my projects directory. I don't have reference here, so maybe let's skip that. And this probably just appends the null terminator for the string, in case it's just if it's longer than the max path, right? So if you have deep nesting, then it just prevents from further operation on the string to just crash the system. Okay, config file. It was nothing that I'm aware was set up. Probably we can set it up manually from the command line. I don't know. But obviously it's empty. So we take the current working directory. Okay, here it is, right? So our project build, and then we append separator, and boom, so working directory is also stored here. So I would expect a new value here. All right. Yeah, okay, index 0. And the next thing is scan working directory. Let's see. Okay, so some checks. No working directory, nothing to do. Working directory is the root, so do nothing. No personal home directory, so the working directory won't be that. Okay, so probably it just needs to scan the content somehow for some additional files. Some maybe assets, maybe configs, I'm not really sure. But in any case, it used the working directory search path and appends the open.openttd and this makes our condition here. So I would say it was something that was set to true, right? And it was set to true because the personal directory that was here, so the one that was I think it was this one. It was different than the working directory from here, which was like the one inside the project. All right, let's see. Probably the scanning will just trigger at some point. Okay, then we have change working directory to executable. All right, and okay, so we just take the last separator here. And this should be, yeah, what is it? I don't know, this one. It's probably not this one. Okay, so we just remove everything from the path after the last separator. That's what I imagine. Yeah, so we have only build. So we remove like the last segment. And then we just change the directory. So it means that whatever was the working directory later, whatever was working directory earlier, now should become this. So just the directory where our executable resides, basically in this scenario at least. This just checks additionally whether this directory is there, which should be because it's our project directory. So we change that and we get the current directory. Okay, here it is, right? And then, okay, we can again append the path separator and we just say, okay, so here's our binary file, right? So in our like working directory, so we can expect in this build the OpenTTD. Okay, so and then it actually says, all right, why does it says, let's go back to the old current working directory, but it's actually the same one. Okay. Right. The next thing is that we have a global data directory. Okay, why is it working this way? Sorry. Oh, okay. So I thought it's like a static variable. It's just this define here, the symbol. User local share games, OpenTTD. All right. I didn't know it's okay. So it's probably defined by the build system in this case, which is probably default installation kind of yeah, data directory, as it says. And since it's defined, it's being put here to installation. Right, okay, so it makes sense. Some context here. I have this game installed also as Snap, which is probably also, I'm just not thinking that maybe it will just, there's some impact that comes from my system, which may impact these variables and also some of the directories. But we can see later how the assets are loaded. All right. So we are back to determine paths. So we filled a couple of things here for the search paths, and we have fill valid search paths here. Only local path is false. However, we shouldn't fill search paths with global folders. Okay. So if this is false, we have again the search path thing. Okay, what is it actually? Oh yeah, this is this enum, I remember now. So let's see. Okay, so we have the enum here, which we'll probably iterate through, right? So we just iterate from the first enum. Okay, because it inherits also from 8-byte integer. So we'll just go one by one. All right, so first is like the first dir. This is false. Is valid search path. What is the search path here? Okay. So it still relates to this structure. All right, I get it. So first is a boundary check, and then in the search paths we just check the whether it was set or not, because some were not. And if it was set, we just have a set that okay, we just have a set this. Okay, I haven't seen this. All right, it's just here. And we just count the search path as SP. Okay, so we can probably just insert now this element. Okay, and just add it to the valid search path. All right. Yeah, so for example, I expect first 3 of them will be just land in the scene set, but then the third one, yeah, the third one was skipped. All right, that was expected because it was like empty. Okay, so we can skip to this one. In the end, we just extracted 6 values from here. Okay, so then if the working directory was seen, and okay, and if in the set, oh, okay, so this is like a standard set. So in this case, we just check how many times it exists in the set, I guess. But then I think it was not here, right? Okay. So this can be skipped and it's not inserted into valid search paths. Right, so this function basically just fill this global valid search paths, and maybe I will just add it here. Yeah, okay. Right, so as you can see, we have just the enums for the valid search paths, which actually refers to the search path. Okay, easy. So now we have used xdg. So again, get home directory, we have seen that. It's oh, I thought it has the value actually, but it doesn't. Okay, it's xdg config home. Okay. So what we have, we take the home dir and we append .config, and then we have config home as a OpenTTD in my home directory. Okay, that's fine. Append path separator. And then what we do is that we have these valid search paths. Working directory is somehow special, I guess. In this case, it's true, so do scan, so probably it's why it's being skipped here, but in general, it will just debug. So make the debug just makes output to the terminal. That's what I would expect. Oh yeah, it's even something like this. So it's macro definition. So we have a very nice debug print here. Yeah, so this function. And I believe my debugger just didn't trigger because maybe some level is turned off. I will just put a breakpoint here and let's see what happens for the other thing. Yeah, it probably has to be turned off. So we won't see much here, that's what I think. But well, that's okay for now. I can enable it later if it's required. All right, so this is only for the debugging. And then what we see here is that if the config file is not empty, then config directory is from the working directory. That's what's being said. I don't think that it will happen actually because it's empty. Right, so it will go here. FIO find full path, or FIO, I'm not really sure. But here it seems like we are looking for very concrete file. Okay, conversion. Here it goes. So yeah, just to make sure. So base directory, in this case, in this case it's integer. Why did I see? All right, yeah, it's integer. We should see it here. Why am I not seeing it here? Very sure. Okay. Okay, so first is just boundaries check for this enum, and then we just go through the valid search paths, and we just get directory. Okay, again, some boundary check, and then we said, okay, search path, and okay, and so like this, right? And then we have subdirectories. All right, and this is something new. So this looks like a list of subdirectories in a game which contains all things like assets, scenarios, saves, whatever, screenshots. So, and we pick just a very specific one, in this case, so after it's appended, we have OpenTTD config, and then if this exists, it's being returned, I guess. Let's see, file exists. Okay, so it delegates to file system exists. I'm not sure what it is. OTD, DUFS. All right, let's see. Let's see what it is. Okay, it just converts, sort of like converts the string with string. And probably, yeah, it just tells if it exists or not. In this case, it didn't. And here, since we are not on Windows, be as opening files, aware that sometimes the file name might be in uppercase when it's in lowercase on the disk. Of course, Windows doesn't care about casing. Okay, so I imagine that maybe in this game, like some files are just have some like only lowercase notation and so something, and should just match this build-up path, right? Okay, in this case, it was not. So, and then I imagine that we just go through all of these directories and then just one by one, we just check if this config is somewhere in there. So we have the 6 search paths when we may expect that the config is present, and we just go one by one and we just look for that. Let's see if it actually found something. No, so there was no default actually, or actually not custom, because it sounds like the custom configuration that somebody can manually create with some configuration, and I don't remember I've been doing anything like that. So yeah, it's expected there's nothing like this. So we just have the config directory, which is like the local config, and somehow the reference is captured to this file. Right, then we record that. Right, and then we have like various globals. For example, this file stores the high score data in, and hotkeys and so on. So you can see, or if you ever wonder how to set up such configurations for the game, here's the list of files actually. So if you don't find it in the in documentation, then well, maybe here. Even secrets files, whatever it is, it's maybe some passwords for the server. I'm not really sure. Yeah, fives game, fives file. Okay, as well. Okay, and again our XDG. So search paths. Yeah, okay, we just look it up because now we have this fully set up, and if it would be on a local path, okay, so this is probably, yeah, the parameter passed here and it's false, so it's not gonna be, it's gonna be override. And again, it's this working directory. I feel like it has some, so the comment said it has some special meaning, so probably we'll figure out soon what happens with that. Okay, and then we have create directory with this specific, like in the home directory, and we just use the file system to do that, and then also the personal directory is created. So in the local share, okay. So personal directory was set up here, I guess. And then we have default subdirs, which we have the enums for. Okay, oh, it's here. Just the line before. So Okay, so we see that we have enums for subdirectory, and this is a similar thing, and then it will just create directory in this preformatted way. So, so for example, here we have OpenTTD save, and it's created like in the personal directory, which was, for whatever reason, was in the snap thing. All right, let's skip that. Okay. If we have network, we make a directory for the auto downloading of content. We have network, yeah, please do. And then again, we have fill valid search paths. Why this launch again? Okay, I don't know why is it happening again. Maybe it's not necessary. Maybe it is. Oh, maybe. Yeah, because we set it up here, so maybe we now have 7 of the search paths. I'm not really sure. Do we have more of these? I'm not quite sure, because this was assigned here. I don't remember if it existed before, but maybe if it hadn't, then this call will just fill the valid search paths. Okay. What happens here? So again, we have yet another set of directories. It seems that it's not the same as here. So there are like default one and here. So only for content. It's a bit shorter, I guess. Oh, and then, right, I see now. So for auto download directory, also generate a similar structure, but just for assets. Okay, and the last thing is just the log file. This might be probably interesting because it may store some runtime information that maybe are important later on. All right, so then we have some scanner that says, okay, do scan. All right. I'm not sure if it listened to me. Probably not. Okay, so I had to like put an explicit breakpoint here. I'm not sure why it was not entering this position, but okay. There is something that's called tar scanner, and it uses some enum bit set. Oh, okay. Enum is a bit set wrapper, right? And we have various modes. So we have base set, new gref, AI, scenario game. Okay, so these are kind of I think, different type of assets reference here, and they can probably be stored in some different formats. That's what I would imagine. So if the modes here, why can I access that? So if I think the modes include that, because this contains some bit set, then the base directory should be scanned. Okay, I'm not really sure why it just breaks. Okay, so what this star scanner does, so we have this subdirectory, okay, and then it looks like there's some tar file list here. Okay, this is interesting. This is something new. All right, the search paths OpenTTD could search through. Yeah, we've been here. And then along the search paths and valid search paths, we have tar list and tar file list. And the tar list is the map. Okay, map of tar file to tar directory. And tar file list. Yeah, which is again the map. It just now it maps to this tar file list entry. Okay. So it's being cleared first. All right. So we have a subdirectory, in this case, as D, which is just our enum. And then we go through the valid search paths. And for this enum, we just get a full path. So we know that the notation, there's a prefix and then the path root. And then there is the suffix depending on the asset type or whatever there is. And here it seems that we are looking for the tar file indeed. And just try to just scan that. Okay, there will be multiple things here. We have seen before. Path. And then right, and so here we have the path. It's actually a file system path, not a string anymore. And then we just use the directory iterator to just go through the entries. And I would expect, let's see the dir entry, what it is. Okay, regular file. All right. Okay. Yeah, and then it just checks the if it's directory or the regular file, and then it just obtains the path to the TTF file, which I think is just a font type or a font file, and then yeah, it just creates the string file out of this, and then it does the extension check. So I would imagine we expect the tar file, as I remember. Where is it? Here. So yeah, so we have the file name and then compare ignore case, and we just see, we just have the compare ignoring the case for some substring here. So we just take the indexed based on the extension length, and we just trim it, and we just compare two strings. So we see we have TTF for one file and tar for the other. Yeah, so the result should be obvious. There's not much, basically. We can see what happens if we have a match, because basically what we can see also what happens here is that if we read the directory, it will scan recursively, so we can imagine it will just go through the whole directory tree, and then if there is a match, we will have this add file here. So either I would like this breakpoint to be hit, or we'll just return. Okay, so in this case we just return, unless we are in some nested call, but I don't think we do. So yeah. So we see there's nothing much that happened for this search part. So this might be this is obviously correct here. We have like 6 paths to scan, and just one of them probably contains some valid information. Or not every, maybe not one, but just some. I will actually put the breakpoint here because I just wanna see that we find something. I hope we do. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so what we looked up here for base set, multiple numbers, OpenGFX. So OpenGFX, as far as I know, is just the set of some graphics, some sprites, and if that's here, we'll just add it to this file scanner. Let's see what happens here. So we have a file name, which this OpenGFX, and then here is some structure definition, tar header. All right, yeah. So this is tar. So I would expect this will just scan the tar file and do the loading. So maybe since this is a bigger chunk, maybe I'll leave it for another episode. And for now, I think I will finish at this point. Please leave a comment. What do you think about such search format? Does it make sense? Was it interesting or not really? I may try to record similar videos like this, or just proceed with this code, or maybe some other applications, depending on your feedback. If you like this video, make sure to press like button and subscribe. I hope my content will help you creating something great. Thanks for watching.